Hey everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for the Bramble Fox design team. Today I'm using the paper snips from the July Fox box, and I'm using this with a sketch by Sarah Davies for 30 Days of Sketches by Christy's Beautiful Life. I've got this photo of my son with his bike while we were camping, and he's just so proud of himself for riding around the loop in the campground, and I'm using a lot of various things today. So I've got some Perspextives from the shop, but I think they're actually out of stock. I actually thought they were in the shop when I created this layout, and then when I went to edit the video, I realized that I don't think this stuff is in stock anymore. So my apologies, but I know you can find lots of other wonderful things that are in stock, and these may come back as well because I know those chevrons that I'm going to be using on this layout were really popular. So I'm going to be using the Let's Go perspective for my title, and then I've got this collection by Uniquely Creative. It's an Australian-owned company, and I am loving their stuff. So I've got this Scenic Route collection by them with these little cut-apart pieces. I'm not going to use a ton of those on this layout. I'm just cutting out a couple pieces off of this to use, and then mainly I'm going to stick with their papers from the small 6x6 paper pad and a whole bunch of paper snips from Bramble Fox. So I've got, I think, 3 or 4 different collections of the paper snips, so 3 or 4 different numbers of them, and I am using various pieces out of these paper snips for my embellishments for my layout. So Sarah's sketch had a bunch of circles on there, so I'm going to pull out a bunch of the papers from that 6x6 paper pad and cut them down into circles using, I think, these 4 papers. So I'm going to stick with those, pulling out my Big Shot, my well-loved Big Shot, I must say. You can see the handle is very much used and has seen better days. The rubber is actually just coming apart in layers. But you know what? It still works perfectly, and I don't want to buy a new one because I feel like I won't like it as much. I don't think they make this pink and black one anymore, and I really like it. So I'm going to just deal with it. I've got my circles here that I have cut out at this point, and I am still working on my paper snips. I've grabbed my die from the shop for the paper snips. This cuts out all of those bottom pieces of the paper snips, so you don't have to manually cut them out by hand. So it's a really nice tool to have in your stash. It makes it really super fast, cuts all of those out. So you can see there I have them all trimmed out and ready to go now. At this point, I'm going to use a few of those from that paper snips. I'm going to put in the description all the paper snip numbers that I've used in case you want to grab any of those from the shop. I think they're all still in there. So I used various pieces from different ones on my layout today. I've got all of these circles cut out from my Nested Stitched Circle dies by Echo Park. And I'm just adding some layers to my photo at this point. I've got my favorite striped black and white paper matting my photo. That's by 49 and Market. And then I am just using a scrap of the circle piece that I used to cut out those circles, and it was just left over, so I decided to layer that behind my photo as well. Pulling out this cute little geotag. Well, I say little, it's actually very big. It's a very big geotag, and I love them, but that set sold out as well. It was really super popular. I hope Murag ends up bringing it back because it is a really cool set with those middles that are interchangeable. And I'm going to pop that at the top of my photo along with that circular sun there that I'll make into a flare with some epoxy stickers from the shop. And then I'm just following Sarah's sketch here and layering up all my little circles. I did shrink mine down just a bit to make it kind of on a smaller scale because my circles weren't as big. So I just shrunk it down a little bit, and I am going to start sticking all of these down and popping a bunch of these up with some 3D foam tape and 3D foam squares as well. And I'll just get all of these stuck down because I know that's where the base of my layout is going to go, and I'm just scattering them about the page, and then I can start working on embellishing. So I'm just using my ATG gun on the bigger ones that are going to be on the bottom, stuck down to my smooth white cardstock. Usually I use textured cardstock, but I am actually out of it right now, waiting on my cherry on top order to come in. So I ran out, so I'm just using some smooth white cardstock. I've got my 3D foam tape roll here that I'm just cutting pieces off to layer up my circles, and I'm popping that up on my page just to give those circles some dimension. And I think this might be the last circle that needs to go down. I have a few extra, so I'll just have them left over for something else. I wasn't quite sure where I wanted my title to go, so I ended up popping it. I'll pop it down there in a second here, and I have to remember to take the backing pieces off of all of my Perspextives because I'm using quite a lot today. So you're going to see me pull in some more Perspextives along the way here. I have this little tag that I cut out earlier from that Scenic Route collection by Uniquely Creative, so I've just popped that alongside my photo, and I wanted to add some splatters because it just felt like there was too much white on the layout. So I've grabbed some mica mist spray and just splattered some of that gray color onto my background just to break that up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my photo again with my ATG gun and go ahead and set that down. I've got this cute little map that I've cut out from one of the paper snips, and I'm going to put that towards the bottom of my layout. I'm going to go ahead and stick my title piece down at this point. It just says "Let's Go," but I thought it would be perfect for this layout. It's been in my stash for a little while now, but it was perfect for this because he was just raring to go on his bike, and I told him I wanted to get a picture of him before he took off around the loop, so he was happy to oblige. I've got these little tags here that I know I probably won't ever use because they are international travel, like Sydney, Australia, things like that. So I don't really have a desire to travel overseas. We are very inland people. We like the USA and Canada, and we want to visit Alaska at some point, but that's part of the US, so I don't think that really counts. But yeah, we've been to Canada, and we want to go to Hawaii and Alaska at some point, but I don't know when. Those are probably the farthest places that we will travel. So I have just basically ripped those little tags in half and used them on the top and bottom of my photo, and I love the way that they look. So I had still managed to use them even though I know that we will not travel to those places, but I just love how cute they are, and I wanted to use them on this layout. So I just used some Nuvo glue to adhere those down. So I've got my cute little chevron pieces that are going on the left side of my photo because Sarah's layout or her sketch had little chevrons in it, so I decided to do the same thing. And I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off of this giant geotag and go ahead and pop that at the top of my photo along with the middle section that goes in there as well. But I'm just trying to remember to pull all those backing pieces off. If you don't pull them off, they tend to not stick down as well. So make sure that you remember to take them off. And sometimes they're actually on the tops as well, so look for that. So I've got my little camera here that I'm going to go ahead and stick down along with that little piece there by my title. And I'm just looking for other little bits that I might want to add to my layout. I've pulled out this cute little sign from one of the previous Perspectives that were in the shop as well. I think they came out along with the Cocoa Vanilla Great Escape collection around that time. So they kind of coordinated with those, but I'm using that for this layout. Then I've got this other little paper snip here, just a bunch of wordy bits that I'm coming apart and using here on the bottom. And I love this sweet little camera, so I'm going to use that little guy too. So I've got a lot of acrylic pieces on this layout. I am pretty impressed with myself for how many I actually managed to use on here. And also how many different paper snips I managed to use as well, because I've grabbed quite a bit for this layout. So I'm just going to pop a couple other things up on this layout, and then I'm going to grab some sequins and finish by just dropping some sequins on here and gluing them down to my layout. So here is the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today, and I hope I've inspired you to create something beautiful. And I'm going to pop the links down below for everything that I've used on this layout today in case you want to grab anything from any of the shops. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.